welcome to the Q3 LiftMaster PartnerCast. I'm Iain Urquhart, your host, and we have a really great lineup for you this quarter. I hope everyone's having a great summer and business is strong. And let's kind of go through what we're going to talk about today. We'll give you a quick business update as we always do, and then we have three segments today. The first segment is with our new Chief Marketing Officer, Gina Hardy. Gina's going to talk about the investments that we're making in marketing and specifically the things you can expect to help you grow your business. And as we talk about on the PartnerCast, we're really always here to talk about the things we're doing to really try to help you. And marketing is an area that we've told you we're going to continue to invest in. And with Gina's arrival at the company, we're making some big bets. So I really think you're going to be interested to hear how those bets can help you and your business overall. The second area that we'll talk about is our Elevate program or the Partner program. We just want to give you an update. As you remember, we launched it at the beginning of Q2. So we basically just finished our first full quarter of the Partner program. With it having quarterly rebates, we actually paid out rebates to many of you out there for your performance in the first quarter, money in your pocket. So that's exciting. So we'll give you an update there. And then we're going to end with a guest visitor from one of our partners, Chris Chapman, or Chappie, as we know him in the industry. And he's going to talk about his business, One Clear Choice, and really tell us a bit about the transformation they've made with LiftMaster over the number of years around their business and embracing technology, embracing this whole idea of upsell and mix, but ultimately how it's helped their business. So it's not just to repeat the things we've been telling you, but he's actually going to share what they've done. And there's some really interesting insights there. So let's start first then with the business update. And we're just coming out of the first half of 2024. For us, our first half was fairly strong. It was strong. In residential, we had year-over-year growth in units. So when you think about the residential market, we saw both opportunity for growth in our world of break, fix, and upgrades that happen, and then also new construction. One of the things we definitely saw in the first half was a strong new construction business, and our door partners have seen the same. We then, if you start to look at our commercial business, our Maxim and Cass, we definitely, as everyone knows, we had a challenge as we came out of the gate with Maxim. We really appreciate all of our partnerships out there. The truth is that the challenge we had, we've addressed. It's fixed. You don't have to worry about it. And now what we're seeing is the adoption of Maxim really start to pick up. So we've seen steady month-over-month adoption of Maxim out there. Again, we appreciate it. I think many of you are partaking in our training and all of the other things to help your teams fully understand Maxim. I will continue to tell you that really two major messages. One, we stand behind our product. It is a great product. You should have confidence in it. There's things we're going to continue to do to make it better, and we're getting feedback from you, our partners, to make it happen. And the other is that there's a real opportunity with Maxim. It is the most differentiated product in the market. It is not your 1990s commercial opener. It has a ton of value to offer your customers, and we're excited to work with you, share more. And we're also pleased with the continued improvement in adoption that we're seeing in the market. Our GOS business, so the gate operator business, has remained very strong, very good first half. And then our access controls, we had another record quarter. So we continue to see strong growth in access controls. We're also seeing growth in the sell-out. So you selling out and realizing revenue from the access control products. So we're really appreciative there. We did have a couple headwinds. The biggest headwind we had as a company was really the slowdown in distribution and warehouse new construction. I think many of us in the industry felt it, but that's really the fact that during COVID, there was this explosion build out of warehousing that we all benefited from. And what we saw in the first half of this year was that really cratered. I mean, it went way down. However, we're seeing it recover. And I think we're all going to see this going forward. And so that business is coming back. and we will definitely see a stronger second half than we saw in the first half. I think the other area that from a headwind perspective is, while builder was really strong in the first half, we do think builders slowing down, and new construction will be tighter in the second half. Just from a reality of how many new homes are being finished and closed, we see that number going down. It does not mean, in that case, I would never use the word crater. We just sort of see builder coming back in line, but it doesn't offer the same upside that it did for us in the first half. And then the other key point I would just share is, as we go into the second half, and just really overall in the market, we're definitely seeing the market return to the normalcy of sort of pre-COVID of just competition. You guys are seeing more competition on kind of each of the opportunities that you have. It's not that it's grown, it's just that it's come back. We had that whole period during COVID of just demand that we almost couldn't keep up with. Opportunities were, I think, almost falling off trees. And now what we see is it's really back to, we're all having to compete for that business, which is normal, but it's a trend. And it means that we're all working together as partners to help each other be successful. And so that's really the business update. I do want to add one last thing on the business update, which is, sometimes I definitely, like as a company, we follow a lot of what we see on social media. We follow the feedbacks of you, our partners. And every once in a while, I'll see something that says, LiftMaster isn't listening, or LiftMaster is only trying to do what they want to do. I want to tell you straight up that we are listening. We want to hear from you. If you have concerns or challenges in your business with LiftMaster, we absolutely want to hear from you. We are the one vendor in the market that has the size and scale to support you. We can support you with technical support. We can support you with sales support. We can support you with marketing support. I'm not saying this because I'm thinking there's a lot of disgruntled partners out there. I'm saying for any of you that are, come and talk to us. Ask for the help. We're here. We want to partner with you. We're absolutely in this together. The word partnership means a lot to me. It means a lot to this company, and we're committed to you to go do that. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it over to Gina. Gina actually, on the day today, is on vacation. So we filmed her last week. So I'm going to turn it over to her. Maybe consider this our first remote report on the PartnerCast. But Gina, take it away, and let's get an update on marketing.
Hey everybody, Gina Hardy here. I am the EVP and Chief Marketing Officer at Chamberlain Group. It's been a good 5 months that I've been on board, and I oversee our B2B and B2C marketing arms, as well as a number of other things like consumer insights, customer experience, demand generation, where we're thinking about paid media, and a host of other things. And really excited to be here to build on the things that I've done in the past. I've spent over 20 years in the marketing field, starting off in data and analytics, moving over into PepsiCo, where I spent 11 years, eventually running marketing for the Gatorade brand. So really into electrolytes and sports drinks, but learned a lot about really best-in-class marketing. Moved over to things like Red Bull, spent a couple years there, and made the transition into the tech field about 4 years ago, where I worked at Tonal. For those of you who don't know it, you should. It's connected strength training. Really helps you use AI and magnets, essentially, to get stronger. Spent a couple years at the Uber organization in one of the subsidiaries, and then finally here. So it's been a wonderful journey, and excited to talk to you today a little bit about what we're going to be focusing on in marketing. So first couple things from a marketing perspective, we've spent a lot of time looking at what we know about the consumer today. Looking at things like brand equity tracking, where we can tell how many people even know LiftMaster and MyQ. How many people are aware of it today? As you would expect, LiftMaster, I would say, is much more of a household name. More than half of the country knows what LiftMaster is. And everything you would expect from that in terms of trust people know it's going to work. They know it's going to have longevity, and we see that in the insights. The opportunity is really to drive awareness in MyQ. From what we've looked there, we obviously have more than 10 million users, so we've made a good, headway there, but we have opportunity to continue to drive awareness in MyQ because it's really a differentiator for LiftMaster. And I'll tell you a little bit about the data that we're seeing as to why that's important. It's really helping bring us into the next generation of what the next homeowner and facility manager is going to want to see in the future. So very important that we're focusing on brand awareness. Secondarily, we're in a transition. We're talking about hardware and we're moving more into software. And we're moving into the entire home, maybe not just the garage, the entire facility, maybe not just a door or a gate. And it's about connecting all of those things together. And as you make that transition, you have to be really clear to the end user, to the person making these purchases, about why would you need it? Why does it matter? What about this solution is important to you? How will this solve a problem in your life? And that is the marketing magic that we spend a lot of time talking to our consumer about, to really understand, why would you even want to buy this? What would you need this for? And we've been doing some research to help us really be crisp and clear about those value propositions. And then finally, as we've been able to dive in, there's really an opportunity for us to up-level our partner and channel marketing support. We've audited what we've been doing, and we found that there's really an opportunity for us to democratize the marketing assets that we put out into the world. Make sure that we're listening to what actually would be useful, what would help sell through our products in the market. And so we'll talk a little bit more about what some of the next steps are there as well. So moving on, one final thing I'd be remiss not to talk about is our focus on the consumer. So I talked about positioning, I talked about awareness, but we need to spend time with our customer and the end user. So what you're going to see a lot more from us is listening, is doing focus groups, quantitative, to really understand those value propositions and how we're going to show up. So you'll see a lot more from me in the upcoming quarters, that research that we're finding, as well as some things I'm going to share with you today. So on the customer side, there's a few key things that we have on our agenda. One is to have a learning agenda, is to continue to make sure that we have continuous learning. You're never really done. You need to continue to understand what's next and what's new. So we'll have that always on our roadmap. We need to understand that our consumer is not a monolith, right? They're not all the same. We need to make sure that we're messaging in different ways based on what's important to you. A person who has 5 kids in a suburb is not the same as somebody who lives in a condo in an urban area. And so those are the things that we're really wanting to understand. What are the purchase drivers? What are the barriers to you to buying a LiftMaster product or using MyQ? Those are the things that we're uncovering and have uncovered in the past few months. And as I mentioned, just really understanding that we have that crisp, clear messaging. Nobody really likes to be marketed to, right? You just want to make sure it's understood, clear, simple language in terms of what this product can provide you, and that's the direction that we're going in as a marketing organization. So really excited to share some of that with you today. First up, though, as I mentioned, is all about awareness. So thinking about this marketing investment, we are increasing the amount of investment that we're putting in marketing in the back half of the year and ongoing. A lot of that will be focused on the top of funnel. What that means is making sure people see it, things like TV. That means things like audio, podcasts, just a lot of impressions for LiftMaster and MyQ to make sure that people know we exist and what do we do. So from the top of the funnel all the way, as we say, the mid funnel, which means I need to educate you now on what the product benefits are. I need to tell you this LiftMaster product will give you these benefits at this stage. And finally, as you move to what we call the bottom of funnel, that's where I need to incentivize you to make a decision, to make the call, to take action. And so these are the things that we think about from a marketing perspective, starting at the very top. We've already made some movement here, and I have a video to share with you which shows how the ecosystem can come together from an end user perspective. what we realized in our research was nobody really owns holistic access. You may have a smart lock here or a smart garage door opener there, but there wasn't a competitor that truly could bring that all together in one app and monitor your house at the same time. So what we're doing is coming up with videos like you'll see here to really put some investment behind that, make sure it's very clear as to what MyQ can offer from that holistic access experience. So we'll share that with you now.
You're finally on vacation, but can't help but worry that something isn't right back home. With MyQ, home is just a touch away. MyQ is the only smart home security solution that provides video monitoring, real-time notifications, and lets you decide who comes in and who stays out, all in one easy-to-use app. So take that well-deserved break. MyQ has you covered.
So that's just a little blip of where we're going. We're going to continue to invest in this. Later in Q4, you'll see an even bigger campaign that will have some really big power behind to make sure that we continue to drive awareness in this space. So excited to share that in the coming months. But as I mentioned, another big focus area for us is the consumer, right? Who is actually buying this product? What do they care about? How do they vote with their dollar? That's really important. And so we've been spending time really understanding, as we look at the residential side, we have a portfolio of products. We have a contractor unit, we have a premium and elite model. And candidly, when I started, I noticed that we were talking about these as model numbers. And that's fine from an internal perspective, but when we're thinking of the end user, we really should be making this more user-friendly. And so we've been doing research with real people, gone out, did some focus groups, did some quantitative research with 2,000 people to make sure it was very robust, to understand if I just show you a lineup in a very easy way with some simple language, what would you choose? And we showed them the contractor unit, the premium and elite models, and asked them to choose. And a majority, 84%, chose our premium and elite model. And for good reason. A lot of the reasons why we've heard some consistency is they like the idea of it having hardware features like battery backup, the warranty, of course, being very quiet. But what we also heard is that these smart features are extremely important, nice to haves in your very busy life. You think about, you have kids, you want to make sure you can see them actually physically coming home. You want to make sure that they didn't leave the garage door open. We have these very hectic lives, and this is a very nice way that I can just maybe not worry about one other thing. And we heard that qualitatively and we heard that quantitatively. And now I think our job as a marketing organization is to really package that up in a way that's easy to understand. So what you'll see us do is take this, evolve it, and then figure out ways that we can triage that that's helpful for our partners. How can we make this digital? Or how can we print out a version of this to help you sell through to your customers? So there's going to be more of that, again, easy language to understand. So you saw a little bit of a peek under the tent today of where we're going in terms of marketing vision and the consumer insights, but we still have work to do. A lot of that involves up-leveling that partner in channel marketing support, as we said. So what you'll see from us are a lot more tools for you to use. We need to make sure that we democratize our marketing toolkit. Make it available to any and all who want it, because that will help you sell through our products for that earlier, as I mentioned, easy to understand marketing messaging. So you're going to see more of that from us. And then I think just simply continuing to have the voice of our customer and consumer top of mind. We want to continue to learn. We're never done. So we appreciate our partners that are willing to talk to us, willing to tell us the realities of what they're seeing so that we can continue to make the right products, have the right marketing message. And coming up, I believe you're even going to see some surveys from us just as a first step there to make sure that we're making the right marketing tools and reaching the customers in the way that we want to. So more to come on that. But again, excited to introduce myself to all of you. We'll have a lot more to share in the coming months, and it's great to meet you all.
All right, well, thank you, Gina, and welcome back, everybody, to the Partner Cast. You know, one of the things Gina just hit on, which we talked about right before I introduced her, was really our desire to be listening and listening clearly to you, our partners. And I'm excited to have Gina, join our team, and the changes and drive that she's going to do in marketing, I think is going to rise the tide for all of us in the market. Now, having said that, listening to our customers, I'm excited to be joined by Jaclyn Lytle, who leads our revenue operations organization, which includes our partner operations and partner business. And as many of you know, in Q2, the beginning of Q2, we introduced Elevated Access. And Jaclyn is here today to give us an update, so welcome.
Great, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So we did listen to your feedback. We heard that our former program called LiftMaster Partner Connect was way too complicated. So April 1st of this year, we launched Elevated Access with the goal of driving simplicity and consistency for our partners. With that, we had 3 key factors that we were looking at. A discount to provide you an upfront discount on your products for the entire year so you knew exactly what you were getting. Rebates to align to performance based on our strategic initiatives, and then also benefits. A lot of times when we talked about our program historically, it had only been about the financial benefits, but there's a lot more to partnering with LiftMaster than just your financial benefits of a discount.
So we've simplified the program. We've made discount consistent, because one of the big pieces of feedback historically was discount was moving around, and that's hard to run a business. And then we got this new thing, rebates. Maybe we'll walk through each one. So discount, let's talk a little bit. How's that going?
Yeah, definitely. So essentially, you have these tiers that you had seen on the previous page, and from that, you're able to get a discount. So those have been in place. You can see them on your portal since April 1st, and so that doesn't change throughout the year. You know where you're at. Also, I'll be able to show you later in the session, but we can actually see how you're tracking, because you have transparency to your next level up. So you then know what do you need to hit in terms of list sales in order to be able to earn your next level discount, what that discount is. And this is going to be your discount for operators, accessories, and parts.
Oh, okay, great. And you can see all of this on the dashboard. That's one of the critical points. All right, so rebates. We introduced rebates. How's that going?
Yes, so I'm happy to say that we paid out nearly $1 million last year. So the way the rebates... Last quarter.
Yes.
Last quarter. So the way the rebates work are we are able to reward you for certain strategic achievements. So that could be growth based on your line of business. For residential, we also have one for video units and also your video mix that you have with us. And we also had an overall business benefit, and that's to get orders onto the partner portal. So we've made a bunch of changes to the partner portal last year and this year. We've improved pricing transparency. Your order history is so much better. Order tracking has been greatly improved, and we introduced SSO actually this quarter. So you'll be able to sign on and leverage all of the benefits a lot easier. So with that, we've seen a lot of people start to adopt this and actually get paid out in current year for doing the things that they want to do to help grow their business.
You know, one of the things I know we did as a team in probably the latter part of the quarter, so, in June, but at the beginning of June, is we called out to the partners to talk about the program. And we did actually find a number of partners didn't realize they qualified for a rebate. And we paid out $1 million in rebate, just now. We just paid it out. We probably left as much of that on the table, right? So there's at least another $1 million that we could have paid out to you, our partners. And I think in that term, what we really want to do is just make sure, as part of this session, that we're reminding you and encouraging you to understand the program. It's simpler than it was previously. You get a discount, it's clear, but now you can get a rebate every quarter. So next quarter, we'll pay out again. Let's make it over $1 million. And let's do it again for Q4. So that's really the message out there for you, our partners in the program, is take advantage of the rebate. And our sellers are all trained up. They know how to walk you through it. They can definitely share with you around the opportunity.
Yeah, so we should actually work with your sellers, develop a plan in order for you to hit your rebate, not only in Q3, but also in Q4, because the benefit at the end of the year is this rebate actually goes uncapped. So as you continue to overdrive, there's no cap or limit on what rebate you can actually achieve.
Right, exactly. And I think that no cap is also a component of, like, if for those of you that got paid in Q2, keep going. There's more money for you to be made through the program. Now, I know, like you said, and I feel the same way, our partner program for years was only about price. And we've now added rebate, which is an incentive. But we've also got a number of other benefits of being a LiftMaster partner, which, by the way, our competitors don't have. So we definitely want to reinforce with you the benefit of being a partner. Can you talk a little bit about those benefits?
Yeah, so we have specific benefits on line of business. So one of the things we hear that our partners love and love to talk about is the dealer locator, right? So if you're a certain level in residential, you'll get a preferred ranking on our dealer locator. But we also have marketing benefits, as Gina had talked about, and support and just additional perks. So some of the things we wanted to highlight were some of the other things that people were liking. So one of the things that's been requested are the LiftMaster vehicle decals, which is just an overall benefit of having business with us. And then there are other benefits like swag, LiftMaster swag. So that's coming your way. So please be on the lookout for that. We can actually go into the next section where we can show you on the partner portal where you can see what benefits exist. And we have a lot of detail on all of that for you.
And we've been getting more creative in our partner cast. So you actually have a video now that we're going to play.
Yeah.
So the video is going to share with you how you navigate the portal and take advantage of it. And the portal will share with you all of these benefits that you can get. It'll also give you the update on where you are in your rebate with full transparency, and give you the opportunity to look at your discount. As well, you can place your orders through the portal, and if you do, you get a rebate. So pay attention and enjoy.
Okay, so I'm really excited to walk you guys through what we've created on the partner portal for you. Again, for those unfamiliar, that's partner.liftmaster.com. And we have an entire section dedicated to the Elevated Access program at the top. So we have all the information that you need in order to learn about the program. We have FAQs out there. We have all of the benefit levels, how the program works. And additionally, what you'll be able to see is we have it segmented out by individual line of business. So you'll be able to see, if you play in residential, what does it mean at each specific tier in terms of the benefits and the support that we provide to you. Outside of that, we also have the all business benefits. So we had touched on some of those before, like the vehicle decals, marketing benefits. That is information also there that you can see. What are you eligible for? Are you taking advantage of everything that we're offering as your partner? And then the last thing that I really want to touch on, which will really help you accelerate and help you achieve those rebates that we talked about and get some cash in your pocket, is the dashboard. So you can access this in two different places. There is under the Elevated Access program, you can access the dashboard, or just under your dashboard tags. And this dashboard will be your one-stop shop. So essentially, it will tell you what level you have earned in each individual line of business. You can see them on the side. It'll explain to you the discounts you have, the rebates you're eligible for, how you're tracking to each of those rebates and achievement of those rebates, as well as how are you tracking towards your next year's benefit level, right? So are you an elite and on your way to ultimate? It'll help you get there. So please take advantage of this dashboard. It will really help simplify and help you drive your achievement of getting that rebate and cash in your pocket.
That's a really great overview. Really appreciate sharing what's on the portal. One of the things we are trying to be better about is this digital world and the opportunity to make it easier for you to do business with us. And the portal's a big part of that. So I encourage you to continue to leverage it, look out for it, and maybe as we wrap, if people have additional questions on any of this, what do they do?
If you have any questions, again, your sales rep should know all about the program or the portal. If not, if you have questions on the portal, on the program specifically, please contact Elevate Access at liftmaster.com.
Okay, great. Well, Jaclyn, thank you so much for joining. Again, we continue to strive to have a partner program that you guys appreciate, enjoy, and it is just an added benefit for you as a LiftMaster partner. So if you feel like that's happening, great. If you think there's things missing or you want to give us some ideas, again, just to reinforce, we're listening. We want to hear from you and really appreciate you doing that. We'll be right back in a minute with our guest partner. So one of you to speak with us. Chris Chapman will be joining us right after this. All right, well, welcome back to our third segment of our Q3 Partner Cast, and I'm excited to be joined by a hometown partner. He's from Atlanta. I'm from Atlanta. It's Chris Chapman, known as Chappie in the industry. He has led One Clear Choice, which is one of our premium dealers in the industry. And Chappie, just really thrilled to have you be able to join us today. And I see you're doing it as you're out there working, which is a true door pro right there. You're out there and it's you're doing it real time.
Yeah, that's right, Ian. Good to see you. You know, definitely busy out here, and sometimes we got to go out there and touch the equipment ourselves. So I still actually love doing that.
All right. Well, maybe could you just quickly give us just a quick overview of One Clear Choice, just to give everybody an idea of the company and what you guys are about?
Yeah, One Clear Choice Garage Doors is in 2 cities. Formed up in '99 with 2024, so it's been 25 years. We're in Denver and Atlanta. Proud to be part of the LiftMaster family. That's the opener we use when we select. That's the opener that we recommend to everybody. And as you can see, I'm in the field working with them every day. So I don't want to have an opener that I have to work on a lot. And LiftMaster's been a great partner in so many ways for that.
Yeah, and I think you guys you're about 40 employees, right?
Yeah, we have 40 employees, and right now we're running 20 to 25 technicians.
Okay, all right. So probably a lot like a number of our partners out there, sort of started out, grown over the years. It's an impressive story. Chappie's actually on our advisory board, so he's a voice of many of our dealers that helps us improve and get better. And so thanks for that, Chappie. Let's talk a little bit more then about kind of why we're together today. We were just talking before we started about, the market being a little bit more competitive, and you were mentioning installation excellence as a differentiator. And can we maybe start there, like how you think about it, how the company thinks about it, kind of how you guys are going after your customer base?
Well, it really is an interesting thing, I think. In 2021, 22, we had all that forward demand, and, demand was like falling off the truck, and just anyone could go out there and put in an opener. And now, demand is kind of normalized. And I think customers are really looking for one, they want an opener that is going to work and has a dependable name. And they want it to be installed by a quality company that's going to stand behind their work. And in our case, we're fortunate enough to have LiftMaster stand behind us.
Yeah. The one thing we've talked a little bit about in your business is you've really embraced the technology. And I'm not saying that to the other dealers like, boy, why haven't you guys embraced it? It's not easy to embrace the technology. The Wi-Fi work we did early, we definitely created plenty of bumps in the road for you and your technicians, but you've worked through it. And the cameras and all the things that we're doing. I know sometimes we hear from our channel partners like, you guys are only focused on, the new gadgets and video and all of that. And the truth is, we are focused on both, but as a dealer, you've gone through the growing pains with this, and maybe share a little bit about how you guys are looking at tech, how you've embraced it, why, not just because we asked you to.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So I remember the first time they even started talking about cameras on openers, and back then, even we were buying them loose from the box, and the Wi-Fi. You know, to us, they were just opportunities to give customers a choice for what they wanted to do. And and honestly, it's what we named our company after. Is you have a lot of choices, but there's only one clear choice. So, which is to say, if we weren't able to offer customer choices, that's no choice at all. Sorry for the word salad. Um, but what we were able to do with the technology is we were able to say, hey, look what we can offer you. And not everybody wanted it, but a lot of people did. And and that's been I think that's been one of the really cool things to watch develop, is where we used to just change openers out when they were broken, and now we change them out because there's new cool stuff and there's new ways to protect your home. And openers are no longer just something that opens the garage door so you get your lawnmower out. It's a whole home system that provides security for your home through the cameras, provides security to your family through the battery backups, letting people to get into their houses when the power fails. More sensitive systems where you can't override them. For example, if a garage door isn't working correctly, the older openers with the sensitivity settings that were done manually could be manipulated, and now with the openers that they have now, you can't put in a door incorrectly and override it and manipulate it. So it really makes it to where the quality of the technician and the company that you're getting out there matters more now than what it did back in 1998.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the technology's been great, and it's been giving people a reason to change out their openers, even when there's nothing wrong with them, just so that they could get the new technology. And it's definitely been a benefit to us.
One area I've seen you guys really be successful is with your technicians and the embracing of technology. Because it's very interesting as a company, we're making access simple for the consumer. We are. It's simpler. You can open it with your phone. I mean, my Apple Watch I use to open and close my door with my key. It is simpler. But you could argue that for the installer, we've added some complexity, or at least some change. And so as you've worked with your installer team and your technicians, how have you helped them embrace the technology as well?
Well, the technology, if everything's working, it's very simple to hook up.
Yeah.
So the customer has everything they need set up at their house. You're only talking about 10, 15 minutes worth of additional work to get them set up and happy. What we've done as a company, it is a little bit different, and it's not a garage door opener install when you start getting into setting up the Wi-Fi capabilities. So if there is a problem, then we just have to reschedule with the customer as an additional visit, where we could end up being out there for 3 hours. The customer may need additional equipment. And what we found out is that customers really understand that for example, when you buy a TV at Best Buy and they deliver it to your house and the guy hooks up the TV at your house, if you can't get the Wi-Fi hooked up, the answer isn't to return the TV. The answer is you got to get the right equipment to get your TV up to the Wi-Fi. So more and more and more people are understanding that, and people are, they're starting to get savvy about the things that you may need. So more and more and more, the stuff's already there. But when it's not really a battle with the customer. Say, hey, the opener install doesn't really include the Wi-Fi hookup. We're going to have to bring a technician out here that is an expert in hooking up this Wi-Fi, and it's a 3-hour window. This is how much it's going to cost. And then we're fortunate enough to have LiftMaster. They have a ton of stuff out there to help us get through those problems and explain those problems. If we do have a customer that doesn't really understand, there's a lot of ways we can get them to understand. And then when we come out, it's usually not too hard to get someone on the line, find out exactly what the customer needs. Um, and and on the flip side of that, the customers can actually do that too. They can call
Yeah.
LiftMaster and get it done for free on their own time. But if they don't want to do it, they want a professional out there to do it, we can definitely do that for them. So it has been a little bit of a growing curve to say, hey, this is a different process, and we can't do all of this in one visit because all we scheduled was an opener install, but we can get you taken care of. Here's the two ways to do it. Either we do it
Yeah.
or you do it.
It's a really interesting point, because I think there's a number of dealers out there that if they have to make another trip, they eat it. And you guys have taken an approach where you're like, no, I'm actually adding incremental value for the customer. By the way, when I install the opener, it works. The buttons work, the open closes the door. It's really the added features of connectivity. And like you, what we're seeing in the industry now is that the average consumer, like now over 65%, are connecting right away. Like, connection is now the standard. It is not an exception. And you're right, it's getting easier, both because we had to make it easier in our products, which you helped us with, and also because customers are becoming more savvy. So I really like one of the things you shared at the Partner Advisory Board is you do charge for the extra trip, but you explain it in a way where the customer understands you're doing an extra value for them that they could do themselves, or if they want the professional to do it, here's what it costs. I kind of want to pivot a little, because it's a great segue into the fact that you've made it very clear to us that you really measure your success on customer sat. Like, customer satisfaction is critical to your business. So in all of this change, because the message really for our dealers would be, none of you guys want to make your customer upset. So you might hear what Chappie's sharing and say, well, you just pissed the customer off. But I guess with the technology and with this transformation you guys have gone through, what have you seen happen with customer satisfaction?
Ironically, it's gone up. And to be clear, it's not something that we came to overnight. We went out time after time for free over and over and over again. What we found is we were spending 2-3 hours to find out that they didn't program their cell phone correctly. It had literally nothing to do with the opener. So by creating, it's actually in our product in bold writing that these things are not covered. We try to hook them up, and if we can't hook them up, we do have to schedule an expert. And creating, and we have the links in there so they can go in and see how to troubleshoot. They have the link to go in and talk to LiftMaster, and they have what it's going to cost for us to schedule a 3-hour window to do it. Customers just try harder to fix it, and we all love it when we fix something because we tried. So instead of having these customers that we go out to reprogram something because they didn't set up their iPhone correctly, and we're out there for 3 hours, and they still aren't happy because we just took 3 hours of their time to find out that it was actually their fault. They're solving the problems on their own. They're doing it for free. They're doing it on their own time. And we're setting that expectation that this thing could require a little work that's outside of just a typical garage door install. And setting that expectation has actually made a difference to our techs. It's made a difference to the customers. It really has been kind of seamless. It was almost just one of those things like, we should have been doing this the whole time, but we had no idea. So, I mean, it took those 3-hour customers that it had nothing to do with the product to cause us to go that route, and it's worked.
Yeah. And on the customer sat side, what I've noticed is, like, it's really, this approach has kind of lifted the tide for the whole business and the customer. You're putting in the more premium products, so you guys are getting a higher sell price, better margin, which you can reinvest in the business. You're not afraid to take, you're not going with a contractor to somebody that wants the latest and greatest, which we still, by the way, to our dealers out there, we still have some of you guys where the customer's like, give me the best you can, and you sell them a contractor unit. And it's a disservice to your customer. You don't. I know you don't. But it's a disservice to the customer, and quite honestly, it's a disservice to your own business. And so maybe just share a little bit on that point around, now that you've kind of gotten through this and learned, you guys have actually shifted up your mix. You're like, this whole point on customer sat, are you getting more referrals from customers that are like, hey, if because you were saying you're not just replacing a broken one. Now you have customers coming to you that says, hey, I want that MyQ, I want that security. Is that helping grow your business?
It's hard to say if it's helping grow our business, but we definitely have happier customers. We did have one opener. You guys know I'm a firm believer if you have to have a good, better, best. And we had a good. Our better was the 8155, and it's a belt drive unit, and famously noisy. Sometimes it was noisy, sometimes it wasn't. It didn't have any noise cancellation built in there, so honestly, it wasn't any louder than the 8355 back in 2014, but it's a lot louder than the 87504. So, we would tell customers, hey, this is noisy. And they would say, well, I don't care. I want cheap, and we'd put it up. And what they would say is, oh, I didn't realize it would be this noisy. And we were like, well, there's nothing we can do about that. We told you it was not an Elite Series DC drive motor with noise efficiency. We got it all written all in here. And what we would end up doing is we would end up selling them the best model, the 87.5. They'd say, well, I wouldn't have bought this if I had known this. I said, okay, well, then you're going to buy our best model with our best warranties, and you pay the difference. And we were taking a little bit of hit. They were taking a little bit of a hit. And at the end of the day, it was a fair deal for both people. But now we don't have that 8155 anymore, and we flat out tell them we got rid of the 8155 because customers would, if we had a customer that was unhappy, it was because they got a belt drive opener. They thought it would be quieter than what it was. And an 8155 is a great opener for what it is. We had a lot of happy customers with it too. But ultimately, it left that window of opportunity open for a customer to be unhappy. And by taking that 8155 away, we're not getting those complaints anymore. So,
and you're still getting the sales, but with your 84505 is your first choice. Your second choice is the 87, and they're picking one of those two. It's interesting.
They still get the 87504.
The
87504, the best one is the one that they pick. Probably against that one, probably 70% of the time.
Yeah, it's just a really interesting proof point back to the dealers today that the customer sort of takes what you recommend. We say 70% of the time, but if you actually want to give them choice, but you move the choice up the line, you're still going to win the deal, and you're going to have a happier customer because they have a better product. Plus, you're going to get more margin and top line revenue. And so, that's kind of been our message all along. So, well, thanks, Chappie, so much. I know you've got to run to your next call, and we want to let you go. I really appreciate you spending time with us today and really sharing insights that I think will help all of our dealers. So really appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you at the next advisory board, and best of luck.
Hey, thanks, Ian, for having me. I really appreciate the partnership that LiftMaster's had with me from, I want to say, since 2007, 2008. You guys, you definitely lead the field. We put in every kind of opener. And once we partnered up with LiftMaster, we never really ever looked back. Thanks for the support that you guys give. And I'm grateful for you guys every day. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks. All right, well, that wraps our Q3 PartnerCast for LiftMaster. I really appreciate your time, everybody joining. If I were to leave you with 3 points, the first point is we're listening. I hope you heard that loud and clear, and we want to hear from you, and we strive to be your best partner. The second message, really across all of this, is we're investing in you, our partners. We're investing in marketing. We're investing in our digital platform for you through the portal, through elevated access and the programs. And then honestly, with programs like our partner advisory board with Chris Chapman, Chappie's a part of. And then the third is really from a partner. I'm just reinforcing a bit of what Chappie shared, which is he's rethinking his business and it's working. He's doing things differently and it's working. It's improving customer satisfaction. It's driving his business in the right direction. And so I want to again thank Chappie for joining us, but I think it's a great example for all of you to think about your own business and to really consider the opportunity out there for you to grow with LiftMaster. So with that, we'll close out the partner cast, and I hope everybody has a great rest of Q3, good selling. We'll see you in Q4.